Hello students, good morning all of you. I hope you all are fine. I am Neeraj Khare, the science teacher of class 7. So dear student, today start the chapter 7, weather, climate and adaptation of animal to climate. Today the revision for the chapter 7. The first one is start the weather. So dear student, first one is start the weather. The weather of a place can be defined as the measure of its daily atmospheric conditions such as the humidity, temperature, lighting, events, rainfall, storm, snow, and so on. The weather of a place can be defined as the measure of its daily atmospheric conditions such as the humidity, temperature, lighting, events, rainfall, storm, snow, and so on. The different elements of weather are rainfall, temperature, humidity, snowfall, storm, wind, etc. So look at this picture: sunny, cloudy, partly cloudy, hot, warm, cold, windy, really, and rainy. So different conditions of weathering. A weather report of the journal contains the information about the weather of the day. A weather report generally contains the information about the weather of the day. The government has a special department, it's called the meteorological department. The, the predict the weather of a place and prepare the weather report. Meteorological department that is the predicate the weather of a place and prepare the weather report. The weather report is generally published in a newspaper, radio and television. Dear students, the weather report is generally published in a newspapers, radio and television. The weather for us is the important of the people because the many of our day to day activities are based on weather condition. The weather forecast is the important of pupils because many of our day-to-day activity are based on weather conditions. For example, we can check the possibility of the rainfall on a particular day and carry an umbrella with us accordingly. For example, we can check the possibility of rainfall on a particular day and the carry on umbrella with us the accord. 3-day weather forecast today northern and the thunderstorm maximum 21 degrees Celsius and 70 Fahrenheit minimum 40 degrees Celsius and 57 Fahrenheit. Friday, north brighter the attract the for the maximum 23 degrees Celsius and 73 Fahrenheit, minimum 11 centigrade and 52 Fahrenheit. Saturday, north semi the specials with a few for the maximum 20 degrees Celsius and 68 Fahrenheit. South, hot, dry and sunny, maximum 33 degrees Celsius, 91 Fahrenheit. So, dear student, 3 days the weather forecast and different types of the temperature conditions and weather conditions. So, the weather of a place is never constant. The weather of a place is never constant. It is can all alter every day or even every hour. For the instance, the weather might be sunny in the morning in the area, but really in the evening. The weather might be the sunny in the morning in an area, but really in the evening. So student, the minimum temperature can be experienced in the morning time, while the maximum temperature is the experienced in the afternoon. The minimum temperature can be experienced in the morning time, while the while the maximum temperature is the experienced in the afternoon. Minimum is the morning time and maximum in the after time. To measure the rainfall of the place, can instrument is called the rain gauge. To measure the rainfall of the place, an instrument is called the rain gauge is used. The rain gauge is used. The rain gauge collects the rainwater of the origin and has a measuring scale with the determine the quantity of rainfall of that place. Quantity of rainfall of that place. So to measure the rainfall of a place in the instrument is called a rain gauge. Is used. The rain gauge collect the rainwater of origin and had the measuring scale. Measuring scale which is the determine the quantity of rainfall of that place. So look at this picture, dear student. This is called the rain gauge. This is the rain or water gauge and collect the water and the scale. So minimum and maximum rainfall that day. How do change in weather occur? How do change in weather occur? Any changes in the weather of the place on the earth is because of the sun, which the radiate layer amount of heat and light every on the earth, a- angry of the earth, the formation of winds, the phenomena of rainfall, and the change in the season all occur because of the sun. Any change in the weather of the place on the earth is because of the sun, which radiates the large amount of heat and light and angry on the earth. The formation of the winds, the phenomena of rainfall, and the change in seasons all occur because of the sun. Why they are shorter in the winter season? Why they are shorter in the winter season? We know that the earth is spin on an axis around the sun. We know that the earth is spin on an axis around the sun. Hence, the amount of sunlight a place receive the various throughout the year as it the position with respect to the sun changes because of the rotation of the earth. Position with the respect to the sun changing because of the rotation of the earth. We know that the earth is spinning on an axis around the sun. This also leads to change in the season of a place. This also leads to the change in the season of the place. In the summer season, the position of the place is closer to the sun and the hence it is the receive sunlight for longer hours, while in the winter season, the position of a place in the further to the sun and hence it is the receive sunlight for shorter hours. In the summer season, the position of the place is closer to the sun and hence it is the receives sunlight for longer hours, while in the winter season, the position of a place in further to the sun and hence it is the receive sunlight for shorter hours. So spine in the northern hemisphere, atmosphere in the southern hemisphere. The center one is the sun, and second winter in the northern hemisphere, the summer in the southern hemisphere, autumn in the northern hemisphere, spring in the southern, and the summer in the northern hemisphere, the winter in the southern hemisphere. Climate. The climate of place can be defined as the providing the weather conditions of the place for a long period of time, for example 25 years. The climate of place can be defined as the prevailing the weather conditions of the place for a long period of time, for example 25 years. For the example, the temperature of Rajasthan is a generally high throughout the year and it is, does not receive much rainfall, so we can say that Rajasthan is a hot and dry place. Can say that the Rajasthan is a hot and dry place. What is the picture in the globe? The axis is tropical, dry, temperate, the condition, continental and polar region. So A, B, C, D, and E, the different type of the regions. The climate and adaptation. The climate of a place can alter the living organism of that area. Climate and adaptation. The climate of a place can affect the living organism of that area. The animals living in a particular regions adapt themselves so that they can survive the weather conditions of that place. The animals living in a particular regions adapt themselves so that they can survive the weather conditions of the place. The features and the habitats of the animals start to change as the per the climates of the place. The feature and the habitat of the animals start to the change as the per the climate of the place. The polar region: Alaska, Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, and Finland. So polar region is a very cold region of all time the snowfall. So first one is Alaska, Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, and Finland. The area of the earth that the surrounded the North Pole and the South Pole is called the polar region. The area of the earth that surrounded the North Pole and the South Pole is called the polar region. The climate of the polar region is the extremely cold throughout the year and the receive heavy snow. The climate of the polar region is the extremely cold throughout the year and the receive heavy snow. The sun does not rise for the 6 month of the year in the polar region. It is very important this point, students. The sun does not rise for the 6 month. The sun does not rise for the 6 month of the year in the polar region, and then it is the stay up for the next 6 month. The temperature in the polar region can be as low as the minus 37 degrees Celsius. Minus 37 Celsius. Most common animals found in these regions are polar bear and pigeons. So other animals that can be found in the polar areas are fishes, bird, oxen, musk, reindeers, fox, owls, and the seals. So they have adapted themselves so that they can survive easily in the place. They have adapted themselves so that they can survive easily in this place. Look at this picture: the leopard, seals, pigeon, attract wolf, whalers, attracting fox, polar bear. So different the animals. Look at the picture. This is have the adapt themselves so that they can survive easily in the place. They can survive in the easily in the place. Leopard, seals, pigeons, Arctic wolf, walrus, the Arctic fox, and polar. So come. So dear students, today's topic is complete for this chapter. Tomorrow will next chapter start. I send you the PDF file for your homework. So complete your work and send me. Thank you.